Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we will hear about the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone here who has not heard about the Bhagavad Gita? Anybody? All Sanskrit scholars here. Good. Class is over. Any questions? So, Bhagavad Gita, as we know, was re-spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And that was not for the benefit of just Arjuna, but our benefit also. The whole purpose of reciting the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna was so that Arjuna can surrender unto Krishna and also develop love for Krishna. Everyone is looking for happiness. Is there anyone who is not looking for happiness? Everybody. That means we don't have happiness. We are looking for it, right? Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to find happiness and keep it with us. Not temporary happiness, but permanent happiness. For that, Krishna has given us the whole process of not only the whole yoga ladder about karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga, but bhakti yoga, which is the culmination of all forms of yoga. When we come to the platform of bhakti yoga, Krishna explains that we will get permanent happiness. Now guess what? Everything starts in the mind. Do you agree? Everything starts in the mind. Maybe you can chant afterwards. Everything starts in the mind. Our thoughts, our desires, whatever we want to do, it starts in the mind. And then later on, that leads to words. Then when it leads to words, then we express, we share, we talk about it, we discuss, and that leads to actions. Do you agree? Or do we just do some action and then afterwards think, oh, why did I do that? No, it first starts in the mind. So Krishna is teaching in the Bhagavad Gita that why not start the process on the spiritual platform, which means our mind, let it be trained to have spiritual thoughts. Right? So when the spiritual thoughts will be in the mind, that will lead to spiritual what? No. Huh? No. No. So first is thinking in the mind, then it turns to words. We start speaking about it. Oh mom, I want that new iPhone, or I want this laptop, right? It turns into words. So Krishna is explaining that right from the beginning in the mind, start having spiritual thoughts. That will lead to spiritual words. And what are the spiritual words? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then that will lead to spiritual actions. So now we have a choice. What do we want to do? We want to stick to the materialistic side, or we want to do spirituality. Because if we do not control our mind on spiritual thoughts, it is automatically going to go towards material thoughts. That is natural. Just like children, do we discipline them, train them, teach them, right? Mind is just like a child. You need to discipline it, train it, and teach it. How? With the help of knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita is teaching us that if we can keep the mind, words, and the body in alignment on the spiritual path, that means the direction should be spiritual, then only we will get permanent happiness. Only then we will be able to also experience peace of mind. See, mind comes in peace also. Peace of mind. Because it all starts in the mind. And the whole process of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna is telling Arjuna all the time, chant, chant, chant. Eat only Krishna Prasadam, follow 4 regulative principles, associate with devotees. That is what he's teaching us in the whole Bhagavad Gita. You see what happens, we are in this particular body based on our past karma. Just like on Amazon, we place an order, right? We like something, we place an order, and that is delivered to our doorstep. As it is or no, right? Whatever we order, we get. So we ordered this body in our previous life. And guess what? Along with that comes the subtle body. So this is the gross body. We are spirit soul. Soul has entered into this body along with the subtle body, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And along with that, we carry with us our whole history of karma. And also all the impressions. Have you ever heard, like, I'm very afraid of water. No one can force me to go in the water to swim. How is that? Nothing has happened in this life. But from previous life, probably I got drowned. And so I have that impression, fear of water. So we come along with all those impressions. That's why we notice each individual soul has a different nature. You take children at home also, right? They are sometimes opposite. One is an introvert and the other one is the opposite. Because we carry the nature with us. So we come with the whole history. So Arjuna has been advised by Krishna that if you want to get rid of all your past karma, anyone here wants to do that? Make your balance 0? Yes? Only 2, 3? All others are happy with their karma. We all want to clean our slate completely. No more karma means no more reactions. And he gives us the formula in 18th chapter, verse 66. Sarva dharman parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Pap means all sins. He says, I'll clear out all your sinful reactions. Ma suchaha, do not fear. He's giving us a guarantee. So, if we follow the Bhagavad Gita, which is simple living and high thinking, and if we lead a regulated life, how many of you are aware of a disease called yellow fever? In India, we call it, no. Pelia, but what's the English word? Jaundice, yes, right? Jaundice. Here, I think you call it yellow fever because it's yellow in color, I guess. I don't know. But if we have jaundice or yellow fever, can we eat anything and everything? No. Not at all. Only thing that is advised is sugarcane juice to cure the jaundice. Even though it tastes bitter. That's regulation, right? But if I say, no, I want to eat samosa and I want a kachori also, then I'm never going to get well. I remember, I won't tell what it was, but when I was little, when I would fall sick, I would take the medicine and throw it under the bed, right? Anyone done that? Right? Because medicine is bitter, right? How can you get cured? You got to take that medication, even though it's bitter. So here Arjuna is being advised to lead a regulated life which is of self-discipline. If the boss wants us to reach office at 6 in the morning, there is no excuse in the world we can give if we want to keep the job. Yes or no? We will wake up at 4 in the morning, do whatever it takes, and be there by 5:45 to not give any complaints to the boss. That's regulation. That's discipline. So why not have discipline in spiritual life also? Somehow or the other, lead our lives in such a way that we can control our mind. So that the mind starts with spiritual thoughts that leads to spiritual words and then spiritual actions. And for that, Srila Prabhupada has given us a very nice, concise program which is called the morning program. Does anyone know what's a morning program? Probably it is wake up in the morning, check your Facebook account, and go on Instagram and do some reels, or then have breakfast, and then have some gossip on the phone with. Is that what Prabhupada gave us? Morning program? No. Morning program, if it is not strong, we cannot discipline our mind. Morning program means we wake up early in the morning, way before sunrise, which is the Brahma Muhurat, the mode of goodness. And what do? We shower and then we sit down to chant. What do we chant? Loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. And simultaneously, we should also cut down social media. Some faces are not very happy. But we need to detox ourselves, right? So when we are doing the morning chanting, there should be no social media. What happens, I have seen, especially youngsters, they are so much into their phone or iPad or whatever you may call it, just swiping. I'm sure even in dream, they just sleeping while they just keep doing this and this, because the whole day they're just doing that. What happens with that is a person starts becoming fatigued. Fatigued as far as it comes to decision making, because there is so much tiredness from social media. So we have to make sure that we have minimum social media and we spend more time on things that are very essential, necessary. Use our energy on significant things. And that becomes possible when we have very good association. Very good association is necessary. If we associate with, if we associate with material destructive people, have you heard of that? Material disruptive people, those who disrupt our lives. What happens? Our lives become disruptive. But on the other hand, if we associate with spiritual disruptors, have you heard of that before? Spiritual disruptors, they actually help us because they kind of throw forms of wisdom on us. They give us this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. They make us understand the essence of the Bhagavad Gita so that we can contemplate on it and put it into practice. They actually help us to open a new spiritual road for us, which is very essential. Otherwise, we'll just be going round and round and round. I don't know if any of you have noticed, I have. When I put a destination on GPS, sometimes it takes you round and round, brings you to the same spot. Right? This is what happens in the material life. We just keep going round and round and round. But when we have some very nice association, spiritual association, they help us to understand the purpose of life. They show us a new road back home, back to Godhead. Most people do not know what is the purpose of life. They only think, eat, sleep, have fun. That's it. Who has seen tomorrow? Have you heard this dialogue? Who has seen tomorrow? No one has seen tomorrow. There is no life after death. So let us have as much fun as we can right now. This is their purpose in life. But if we are able to use our philosophical intelligence, which the animals do not have. If we use that philosophical intelligence, then we will ask the question, why? W-H-Y. Why? The question should be asked every day. Why am I in this body? Why am I in this material world? Why am I in this family? No, we don't ask that question because there's no choice. We are there, right? Then we ask, why am I suffering? Why am I having so many obstacles even in my spiritual life? Material life, of course, we have many obstacles. But this question again, why and why and why, and most importantly, why is my happiness so temporary? Today I'm happy and tomorrow I'm sad again. You have those emojis, right? Happy and sad, right? The face goes like this, happy, and like that it is sad. How many of you use emojis in your text messages? We all do, right? We send also, I'm happy today, or downwards, I'm sad today, or with that chakra on the head, I'm confused, right? That emoji is also there. That's an expression of our emotions. So the intelligent person will have this question in mind every day. Why? 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 Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that we are spirit souls, and it is our nature to seek happiness because we are part of Krishna. Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are eternal parts of the Supreme Lord, and because He is always happy, our nature also is to be happy. But unfortunately, because we are in this material body, we are not able to experience happiness at all. But if we take on this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is very, very important, it's actually an owner's manual, right? With a new car comes the owner's manual. Similarly, this new body, now is of course, it's very old, but when it was new, along with it came owner's manual, which is Bhagavad Gita, which tells us, shows us the path. It's a GPS system which takes us directly to our destination. But for that, we need to take on the knowledge and put it into practice. This is how we can make ourselves very, very spiritually strong. In fact, all of us, we are here today because of our piety in our previous life. Not everybody gets an opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita. Not everybody gets an opportunity to visit the temple. Not everybody gets the opportunity to eat prasadam. Not everybody. Then we are those very few fortunate ones. Bahunam janmanam ante, after many, many births. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. Will surrender unto, will take on the knowledge and surrender unto Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, will understand Krishna is all in all. He is the Supreme Lord. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. So we are those rare souls. I'm not saying we are Mahatmas. I mean, not me. I don't know if any of you are Mahatmas, but we are at least on the path to become a Mahatma, a great soul. So the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is to surrender to Krishna, which means follow His instructions. He says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, which means always chanting. Are we always chanting? No. Even 16 rounds is a huge burden for us. How to finish, when to finish, right? Are we finishing with attention, or we're just murmuring some words and getting it over with, right? Experience that, right? Yes, and we are still experiencing it and still not learning a lesson. But Krishna says this is the only way. Even when He came 500 years ago as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is what He said. Kirtan, kirtan, kirtan. Chanting, chanting, chanting. What is that famous verse? Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, 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 gatirana. There is no other way. But still we like to find some loopholes. Somehow or the other, we can, go around this instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, where we can do, towards the end of the Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka where Krishna tells Arjuna that I've explained everything to you that is necessary. Now do as you wish. And I had a student who picked up that one verse and said, Krishna says, do as you wish. So why are you asking me to chant? I will do as I wish. How about understanding the whole Bhagavad Gita and then understanding what is Krishna telling Arjuna? He's giving him a freedom of choice. And that is what we all have, freedom of choice to either follow or not follow. We all want happiness, but most of us do not know the actual meaning of happiness. What is we have no idea about the concept of happiness. For us, happiness is get nice food to eat, have a nice place to stay, have a nice job, maybe $1 million in the bank. I'm not going to ask who all has $1 million in the bank, but even if I did, you won't tell me. This is what happiness is for people in general. If we have all these things, we think we are happy. No. Real happiness is when we are able to control our mind and our senses. We are able to be like Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavihastini Shri Swapakicha Panditaha Samad. We become a Pandita, not with a Shikha, but learned. A Pandita. We become learned and understand the purpose of human form of life. Which is very, very, I would like to hear, what did you say? No, I would like to hear, what did you say? Yes. Share the joke with me. Something about Pandita, right? About the Shikha. What about it? So just because ladies don't have Shikha doesn't mean they are not Pandita. They are learned too. So what was he saying? Oh yeah, in this material world we have lot of Pandits. Oh yes. Oh, I didn't say it, he said it. Just to be clear. Yes. So Krishna is teaching Arjuna for us how to become a Pandita, how to become learned. And we can become learned only when we take Bhagavad Gita very seriously. We study it scrutinizingly under the guidance of an advanced devotee. Then we will understand, because Krishna, he is going to see our endeavors. Ye yatha ma prapadyante tam statheva bhajamyaham. Mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Sarvashaha means all. Everybody has to follow this path. And he says, I reward them accordingly. So based on our endeavors, he bestows his mercy upon us. So how sincere are we? How serious are we to understand Bhagavad Gita and to follow it also? So it's a question of taking up Bhagavad Gita knowledge very scrutinizingly, understand it. And when we discuss, say for instance, whatever we heard today, if we discuss it with at least 3 devotees, this knowledge will stay in our head. Otherwise, it will be from here out there. I think it's already gone out, right? Don't say yes. Thank you. You see, this is how the mind works. It's here from here, out from there, because it's nothing that is going to give pleasure to the mind, because according to the mind, pleasure is in video games, or I don't know what adults do, I've forgotten. No one will say pleasure is in chanting and dancing. Eating prasadam, yes, there's a lot of pleasure in eating. Huh? No, why is it sinful? No. It's not sinful. Srila Prabhupada has, now that you've brought up the topics, Srila Prabhupada has shown us the Swami step. Have you heard about the Swami step? No? Swami step? I can stand up and show you. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. No one said anything, so I thought maybe you don't want to know. So Srila Prabhupada taught us the Swami step, which is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is Swami step. So this is what Srila Prabhupada has taught us. So it's not sinful at all to dance in front of the deities. That's an expression of love. So what was I talking about after Panditaha? So we have to be able to become self-realized, we have to have very good association. Association that can help us progress spiritually. Good association can help us come out of distressful situations. Say, for instance, Arjuna, when he was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was so distressed. Yes or no? Right? He was so distressed because he didn't want to kill his relatives. I was going to say kill his animals. He was not ready to kill his relatives. Naturally, no one would want to kill their relatives. So he was very much in distress. But once he heard the Bhagavad Gita knowledge from Krishna, he had a spiritual breakthrough. He said, aha. Don't we have sometimes these moments? Aha. We say, oh wow. That is how Arjuna felt. How? Just by taking on that knowledge. So just like when Arjuna heard Krishna and he had that breakthrough, he changed his priorities. In other words, you can say he reset his priorities. So if we want to become self-realized, then we need to reset our priorities. We need to make sure that we are following the instructions of Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita. You know, many times people say, oh, I read Bhagavad Gita, I hear Bhagavad Gita, or some say, I have Bhagavad Gita at home. You know, when you go for book distribution, I have it at home. No problem. Take and give it to your friend. No, they also have it. Okay, give it to your... No, they also have it. In other words, I don't want it. Right? And they say, so okay, you have it at home. Do you read? Oh, I will read when my children will grow up. Because right now I'm very busy. When the children are grown up, can you read now? Oh no, when they get married. Then when they have children, when my grandchildren are there. Then when the grandchildren will get married, by the time we are gone, right? Life is over. So that when is right now. We should understand the Bhagavad Gita right now that we have this opportunity. Krishna is so merciful, so compassionate that in the Bhagavad Gita, he is giving us knowledge about 5 different subjects. What is the soul? That is us. We are spirit souls. Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na moyati. Dhira, we have to become a dhira, a sober person. A sober person is not like that. No. Sober person is knowledgeable, understands why there is suffering, understands who am I, understands how to come out of this cycle of suffering of birth and death. So Krishna explains the soul. In fact, he gives 22 verses on the qualities of the soul. So very important. Then he talks about material nature. It's important to know how this material nature comes into being. How does it operate? How does it work? What are we doing over here? Because we have a material body, we are in the material world, then it's important to know about the material nature. Then he talks about karma, actions, right? Activities. All the activities. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Whose law is that? No, it is Krishna's law. Newton stole it. Sorry, I hope he's not here, Newton. I don't think he is here. But it's Krishna's law. He tells us in chapter 3 and 5, every action has a reaction. So we are in material body, in the material world, performing actions, and those actions happen because of eternal time. So all these are one kind of reality, but above that reality is the Supreme Lord who resides in the spiritual world. That is another reality. So Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how we can connect ourselves, even though in material body, with Him, the spiritual being. How we can connect. Does anyone know how we can connect? Exactly. Chanting what? I know you haven't eaten, but Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maybe we should serve prasadam before class. No, then everyone will be asleep. After eating, you feel like sleeping, right? So Bhagavad Gita is, we need to study it, then we need to reflect on it, and then we need to apply it, and then finally pray. Pray to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to help us understand the Bhagavad Gita. So to be able to understand, we need some purification, and purification comes from chanting what? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's very, very important to hear Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees, try and understand what is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita, how to surrender, how to become self-realized, and how to attain permanent happiness. We all are looking for happiness. We should understand that this life that we have, it's like in a transit lounge. When we go to India, don't we stop somewhere in between, right? Where do we stop in between? Maybe Doha or Europe or wherever. And we are in the transit lounge, right? Do we make a home over there? We look at transit lounge and say, oh, I don't like the drapes. Let me change them. I don't like this furniture at all. Let me order from IKEA some new furniture. Do we do that? No, because it's transit. We are just passing by. So also in this body, we are just passing by. We don't need to spend so much of our time and energy and money into satisfying this body. Yes, bare minimum basic requirement, good, but not go overboard it. So Krishna is teaching us that if we understand Bhagavad Gita, we will reach the ultimate destination. But again, He has given us the choice. Sarvasya chaham hridi sani vishtom mataha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So He's there in the heart and He is ready to give us what we desire. Whether remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness, choice is ours. We choose. And then who faces the consequences? Obviously Krishna, right? Thank you for being awake. Yes, we face the consequences because we made the choice. So it's my very humble suggestion to all of you and a request that please study Bhagavad Gita scrutinizingly under the guidance of an advanced devotee. Try and understand, put it into practice. And to be able to do that, we can also do a little tweaking. That tweaking would be that anyone here who's not chanting every day? Oh, wow. Very nice. Everybody's chanting. If we are chanting less than 16 rounds, then it's time we come to 16. Because that's the dosage. If you have a disease, prescription is given by the doctor. Right?